Okay, listen to me. Imagine this. You wake up one morning, and the ocean is gone. Not moved, not frozen, just gone. No waves, no horizon, no salty smell in the air, only a massive empty space where the ocean used to be. At first, people would be confused. They would rub their eyes. They would check their phones. They would say, "This has to be a dream." But it wouldn't be a dream, because more than 70% of Earth's surface would suddenly be exposed. 70%! That means our planet wouldn't even look like Earth anymore. It would look like a completely different world. You could see things humans were never meant to see. Gigantic underwater mountains taller than anything on land. The deepest trenches on the planet, darker than night. Thousands of shipwrecks from lost wars and forgotten adventures. Entire cities of history, just sitting there. Treasure hunters would lose their minds. Scientists would cry. Pirates. Yeah, pirates would be very excited. People would walk on the ocean floor. They'd stand where whales once swam. They'd look at giant squid and say, "Okay, that thing is terrifying." But this excitement wouldn't last long, because the ocean is not just water, it's life support. Within minutes, marine life would start dying. Fish don't just need water to swim, they need it to breathe. Without water, oxygen disappears for them instantly. Coral reefs would dry out, and coral reefs are not just pretty rocks. They support nearly a quarter of all marine life. Once they die, everything connected to them dies too. Entire food chains would collapse in hours. And here's something most people never think about. The ocean produces oxygen. Tiny organisms called phytoplankton float near the surface. They use sunlight to create oxygen. And guess what? About 50% of the oxygen you breathe comes from the ocean. Every second, every breath. No ocean means less oxygen in the atmosphere. The air itself would slowly change. Breathing would become harder over time. Now let's talk about temperature. The ocean is Earth's biggest temperature controller. It absorbs heat during the day and releases it at night. Without it, days would become brutally hot. Nights would become freezing cold. Deserts would expand. Ice would melt in strange ways. Weather patterns would completely break. Rain depends on the ocean. No evaporation, no clouds, no rain. Farms would fail. Crops would die. Food shortages would spread across the world. At that point, even I would stop joking. Because people don't realize how fast civilization depends on water. No ocean also means no global shipping. More than 90% of world trade travels across the ocean. Food, fuel, medicine, technology, all of it would stop. And here's a crazy one. Most of the internet travels through underwater cables. Yes, the internet. Without the ocean, those cables would be exposed, damaged, destroyed. The world would feel smaller, disconnected, slower. Now let's talk about something even crazier. Weight. The ocean is heavy, very heavy. All that water presses down on Earth's crust. If it disappeared, the land would rise. The planet would literally shift. Continents would move. Fault lines would activate. Earthquakes would shake regions that were once calm. Volcanoes could erupt more violently because the pressure above them is gone. The Earth would react like a living thing. Now, for a very short moment, people would try to enjoy it. They'd explore, take photos, post videos. Walking where the ocean used to be. Standing inside a whale skeleton. Found a pirate ship. Tourism would explode, but the clock would be ticking. Because the ocean wouldn't stay gone. Water doesn't disappear forever, and when it comes back, it wouldn't come back gently. Trillions of tons of water would rush back at once. Mega tsunamis would hit continents. Coastal cities would be erased. Islands would vanish. Even places far from the ocean would flood because rivers would overflow violently. That single day would leave permanent scars on Earth. Species would be extinct forever. Ecosystems would never fully recover. The climate would be unstable for centuries. And humans would finally understand something important. The ocean is not just a background. It's not just beaches and vacations. It's the engine of life on this planet. It controls oxygen, weather, food, trade, climate, balance. Without it, there is no freedom, no adventure, no future. And that's why the ocean still matters. That's why it's still mysterious. That's why we've explored more of space than our own oceans. Because it's powerful. Because it's dangerous. Because it deserves respect. And honestly, that's what makes it awesome. The greatest adventure isn't in the sky. It's right below us, waiting. If the ocean disappeared for one day, just one single day, no waves, no water, no sea, Just a massive empty space where the ocean used to be. Sounds crazy, right? But imagine it with me, because this would change everything. First, you would finally see how big the ocean really is. More than 70% of our planet would suddenly be exposed. Underwater mountains, deep trenches, ancient shipwrecks, all visible at once. Lost treasures would be lying in the open. Pirates would lose their minds. People would walk where sharks once swam. But then the real problems would begin. All ocean life would be in danger. Fish wouldn't be able to breathe. Coral reefs would dry out. Entire ecosystems would collapse within hours. And here's something most people don't realize. About half of the oxygen you breathe comes from the ocean. Tiny organisms called phytoplankton produce it every day. No ocean means less oxygen. The planet itself would start to struggle. Then the weather would go completely insane. The ocean controls temperature, rain, and wind. Without it, days would become extremely hot and nights extremely cold. Rain cycles would break. Farms would fail. Food prices would explode. At that point, I'd be asking the most important question. Where did all the meat go? But it gets worse. The ocean isn't just water. It's weight. All that water presses down on Earth's crust. If it vanished, the land would rise. The planet would shift. Earthquakes would shake continents. Volcanoes could erupt more violently. The Earth would fight back. Humans wouldn't be safe either. No ocean means no global shipping, no fishing industry, no underwater internet cables. Yes, even the internet would slow down. The world would feel disconnected and smaller. Now, for a brief moment, people would try to have fun. They'd walk across the ocean floor, take selfies in shipwrecks, stand next to giant whales and say, "Wow, you're huge." Tourism would explode for one day. But then, the ocean would come back, all at once. Trillions of tons of water rushing back to where they belong. Mega tsunamis, flooded cities, permanent damage to the planet. That single day would change Earth forever, and people would finally understand something important. The ocean isn't just scenery. It's not just beaches and waves. It's life. Without it, there is no freedom, no adventure, no future. That's why the ocean matters, and that's why the greatest adventure is still out there, waiting.